Okay, so no, thanks everyone for joining us this morning. So my name is Lee McDonald, and welcome to our webinar today. He'll be presented by myself and my colleague Brad on ISO More Than a Badge, which is presented by the Citation Group. So before that, we deep dive into the presentation. I just want to go over a few housekeeping rules this morning. So if you have any questions during the webinar, please enter them in the Q&A feature at the bottom of the screen. At the end of the presentation, we'll circle back and aim to answer as many of these as possible. There is no need to wait till the end. You can type your questions throughout the webinar. The webinar will be presented, no, so will be recorded today. So for those who would like access, a link will be made available. So thank you. Next slide, Rob. So, as I mentioned just earlier, the webinar presented by Brad Yao, myself. So Brad's a senior business development manager here at Citation Certification. He's got quite an extensive background and experience in assisting organisations to finding solutions when it comes into ISO certification issues. In addition, my name is Lee McDonald. I'm also Senior Business Development Manager here. I also work directly with businesses to uncover any gaps when preparing for ISO certification, finding solutions along the way. Thanks, Rob. So for those who haven't attended one of our webinars in the past, here's a little information about who we are. So Citation Group has actually been around for over 30 years, working with Australian and New Zealand businesses by providing complete workplace compliance solutions that help create better workplaces. So from outsourced HR solutions, safety management systems, and all the way to ISO certification, workplace law, and migration. Citation Group can support with all these things. If you want to learn a little bit more about us, we would like to pleased to talk to you after today's webinar. Thanks, Rob. So, with today's webinar will be presented by the Citation Certification entity within the Citation Group. So, a little bit more about Citation Certification more specifically. So, with 30 years of experience, Citation Certification has guided thousands of organizations through the complexities of ISO certification and towards NDIS compliance, audits, and training. Thanks, Rob. So here's what we'll cover today. So what ISO certification actually is, the internal business benefits, the external advantages and real-world impacts, and then also a Q&A at the end. So for now, I'll hand over to my colleague Brad for the meantime.
Thanks, Liam. So I'm going to cover the part of the presentation. So first of all, what ISO is. And ISO in a nutshell is basically they create a structure, facilitate better decision making, and bring your team together to drive improvement. ISOs have been written by experts from around the world. ISOs have one goal, which is to describe the best way of doing something. This is achieved through a set of principles, and by following these principles, each management system will help you manage the interrelated parts of your business and to achieve objectives. And it also helps your business to become better equipped to grow, adapt, and improve performance through different measures and stuff like that. Thanks, Rob. So, how ISO helps your business, and it basically helps you to get to know your business better because you're looking through your business with a different lens. You can understand how your business works at every stage, and you'll uncover weaknesses and discover opportunities for improvement, which is the whole basis of ISO management systems, which will help you strengthen your base and refine your practices. Rob, thank you. So there are a number of ISO certifications. However, though, there are four main ones that most businesses should adapt and will increase or will improve business practices. Now, I'm not going to go in order here, but I'm just going to start off with the ISO 9001 standard, which is the quality management standard. And this is basically the overarching standard to basically look after all of the processes, all of the management um, uh, compliance. It also looks after all of the different procedures you have in place and is what I call the spine of all of the certification management systems. It basically makes sure that you have a consistent framework delivering consistent quality goods and services, and it also helps you uncover where you could be lacking and what needs to be improved. So that's the overarching management system that most businesses should adapt in the management system process. The other important one is ISO 45001, and this basically is the management system for health and safety. And this basically keeps your staff and um, your assets, which is what staff is, right, healthy and safe. It makes sure that you identify any occupational health and safety risks, and make sure that the workplace is safe, and make sure that it also remains compliant. The other certification that is coming up hard and fast, and is also very, very important, is the ISO 14001 environmental certification, which is basically what impact your business has on the environment. Now, in the ever-changing world of the environment focus, right, this actually helps your business identify what you have in place, how you could improve it, and basically how you impact the environment. Um, it's looking at things like, are you using, are you recycling properly? Are you making sure that the waste is treated properly? Are you using energy efficient, appliances and have energy efficient measures in your workplace, such as, light bulbs and all of that sort of stuff. That's also very important, and it's also becoming a very important part of the organizational landscape. Now, a very, very important one coming up hard and fast, and it is more or less a newcomer to certification, but its popularity has grown over the last few years, right, is ISO 27001. And this is all about cyber. So this is your information security management system. And this one basically ensures that you're sharing data, you're keeping data for your clients and yourselves, right? And it also makes sure that how you protect it and how you look after it. So it looks at four things. First of all, how you look at storing data, whether it be on a server or in the cloud, how your clients and you interact between sharing data, how you protect your assets or your data or your cybersecurity by how you work with the people and what risk they pose, right? And also how you look after your IT assets, such as making sure they're in secure locations and stuff like that. Now, ISO 27001 is becoming very important because of all the different cyber attacks and all of the different threats, unfortunately, in the cyber world. Next slide, please, Rob. So the internal benefits of getting certification. Next slide, please. So ISO streamlines how your business operates by creating clear, repeatable processes that remove confusion, prevent errors, and keep workflow flowing smoothly. The structure helps your team work smarter, maintain quality, and one of the important things here is continually improve. So while you're going through all the different processes, you may in fact see that you could be doing something better. You can identify it, implement it, and therefore there's an improvement to your system. The efficiency gains provide clear procedures and responsibilities, reduce duplication and wasted effort. It also makes sure that the work's done the right time the first time, and more or less stops repeatable processes. In fact, it also leads to fewer errors, lowering costs, and being more consistent in output. There's end-to-end monitoring, making sure that you quickly spot and correct any issues. And you implement permanent solutions to problems driving long-term productivity. And you also, in any management system, you conduct internal audits and reviews, which also strengthens continual improvement. Next slide, please, Rob. So the cost-saving part of ISO, right, is basically it's you keep accurate documentations, you keep accurate reporting and documentations to keep track of your business processes. Accurate record keeping can help you by identifying areas of cost saving by having a full knowledge of what you use, what you waste, what things are worth, and the efficiency of each process. So, for example, right, do you produce scrap material? How much? What do you do with it? Is it worth any money? Could it be reused or reduced? Okay. So using up-to-date records, you can look at the answers to these questions, right? And you can reveal in areas which you'll be saving money, earning money for recycling, and becoming more more environmentally conscious. So that's a very, very simple rudimentary example, but it is an example of how an ISO management system can, in fact, reduce costs. So next question, and I'm going to pass it back to Liam.
Thanks, Brad. So improve quality and customer satisfaction. So with better efficiency, problem-solving tools, and more monitoring your service or the product quality, it becomes a lot more consistent. So in particular, when it comes into ISO 9001, this is quite powerful for aligning your processes to customer needs and continually measuring results so that improvements are always happening. So this can to lead to a higher satisfaction and better long-term relationship. So with this slide, it really breaks down the key steps with the defining your market, understanding your customer needs, aligning processes to what your customers expect, measuring your results, and also finally engaging your team. So these are really strong foundations in what the spine is of your quality management system. Thanks, Rob. So you're identifying risk and discovering new opportunities. So it also uses a risk-based approach. Instead of reacting to issues, your business becomes proactive. You'll have structured tools for identifying, analyzing, and mitigating risks, while also spotting opportunities to improve. This makes business a lot more resilient, improved, and so utilizing the SWOT analysis is a really good risk-based approach on identifying these internally and as well as externally in your business as well. Thanks, Rob. So empowering employees also empowers staff by clarifying roles, responsibilities, and also processes. So it does encourage a lot of teamwork, boost confidence, and also supports staff development when everyone understands the system and their part in it as well. You're creating a lot more of a culture of innovation as well as ownership. So it's really a defining of the roles, of the responsibilities, but also you're being inside organization that focuses on quality, environmental, OH&S, and also information and security protection as well. Thanks. Next slide. I'll hand over back to my colleague Brad. Oh, you're just on mute, Brad.
Sorry, Liam, thank you. First of all, once again, thank you everybody for joining us on this webinar, and hopefully you're getting something out of it so far. But as a special offer we have by attending this webinar, we're actually going to have a promotion for you. So you can save up to $1,800 off certification if you want to have a chat to us about getting certified. All you need to do is scan the QR code to book it. And one of us will be in contact to have further discussions. So we just might leave this up for a couple of seconds so that people can take advantage of this promotion and scan the QR code. There's also now a link on the chat. So, yep. All right. Thanks, Rob. We might just continue on. So benefits to your business and the bottom line. Okay, so this is all about reputation, tenders, and new opportunities. Thanks, Rob. So first of all, by having a quality management system, you're putting yourself in a very, very important position because you're showing your potential clients and external stakeholders that basically you are implementing or trying to practice best practice. Okay. So, as I said, everybody that goes through the certification process is when you get certified, you're giving a set of logos. Sing it from the highest hilltop because it's something you can be very, very proud of. It's cost you money to do it, it's cost you time to do it, right? So put the logos on everything you possibly can think of, everything from, I've seen it on the sides of trucks. I've seen it on polo shirts, websites, business cards, etc. So using your certification badge in marketing helps attract new customers. Think vehicle stickers, press releases, and adding logo to your email address and website also attracts new customers. Um, it also builds your company reputation and giving new and existing clients confidence in what you do. Basically, because of the work you do for the councils, the police dealing with building and construction, ISO helps beat the trust between yourselves and build the trust between yourselves and your customers. So it is a very, very important thing is that if you do go through the process, when you do, make sure that you very, very shout from the highest hilltops because it's very, very important. Next slide, please, Rob. So a very important part of any tender operation or any tender that gets put out now for people to bid for, right, is they want to make sure that they're dealing with a quality company. And that goes for everything from government to tier one companies, etc. Okay. So an ISO certificate or having your management certified into a formal ISO qualification, right, helps you pre-qualify for tenders and it helps you demonstrate that your business is what it takes to deal with larger and more complex companies and opportunities. And the questions, rather than having to, tick no on a tender opportunity, answer the next 70 pages, you basically tick yes, show your certificate, right, and it's already basically a pass to get onto the next into as part of the next process. Um, it is becoming more and more relevant, and people are wanting to deal with certified companies. The one thing that is coming in hard and fast, which we've noticed collectively at Citation, is ISO 27001. If you're sharing any information with any government authority, i.e., state, federal, council, if you're sharing any sort of documentation or have any sort of regular interaction with them, they are going to want you in the very near future to have ISO 27001 security management because they want to make sure that the data that you're sharing is coming from a safe source. Next slide, please. So just as an example of ISO 27001, and this is a really, really good segue, it was a really good segue, is that basically a real estate agent hit a wall where they had very, very strong security practices, but they had a roadblock, which is what they had wasn't enough to make sure that they weren't vulnerable to cyber attacks. So a company which we've certified called Cushman and Wakefield was certified to 27001, which was essential to ensure that they could actually secure major contracts with Australia banks because it is very, very important in the financial sector, as you can well imagine. Um, their strong certification practices weren't enough. So they had a lot of practices in place, right, but they weren't formalized. So basically, ISO 27001 formalized all of that process, right? And basically ensured that certification was enough, which was what they required. Okay. The audit process was collaborative, so we all had clear expectations, and we had practical recommendations for improvement. And also, with any management system, continuous improvement drives it. So basically, we make sure that they're reinforcing that security must evolve alongside new threats, such as things like all of the different cyber threats, AI threats coming into place, all that sort of stuff, right? And it also provided a scalable network, so it actually grew with the business and prepared it for future requirements. The employees became more confident and engaged with leadership considering what the broader certification meant across the organization, right? And of course, certification unlocked new markets because it strengthened reputation and it became a competitive advantage in a sector which is fast becoming a baseline requirement. So effectively, right, they identified that the certification they needed was for two contracts by the banks. They couldn't do any real work until they were certified. Once they were certified, basically the doors opened with those two banks along with other new clients. Next slide, please, Rob. So each certification has its benefits, right? And just quickly to summarize, um, ISO 9001, which is where I'm going to lead off with, right? It enhances your efficiency. It identifies and resolves issues and problems quickly. It boosts employee morale because they actually know what they do and you've set expectations. It has a right time, first time mindset, and you're also looking at ongoing improvement. Externally, it strengthens relationships with your suppliers, increases customer satisfaction, and it can demonstrate that you can deliver consistent and reliable products and services. For ISO 45001 internal, and it's the only certification management system that actually is legislative and regulatory compliant. It actually provides a very, very good culture of health and safety. It has very, very good robust risk management things in place, right? And it promotes also continual improvements. Externally, it enhances confidence to dedication to health and safety, and it builds increased trust between you and your customers. ISO 14001, once again, is the environmental one. Cost savings achieved through enhanced resource waste management and energy management. It increases efficiency and it complies with legislation that is in place at the moment and also drives continual improvement. Externally, it enhances reputation and confidence for your clients. It's a more progressive approach to the environment and it's also very, very conscious and it gives clear commitment to environmental performance. ISO 27001, which is one we've been talking about over the last couple of slides, it's demonstrating legislative and regulatory requirement from external stakeholders. That will continue to grow as more cyber risks become apparent. It provides a culture of security within the organization around the IT and cyber situation. It also provides robust risk management practices, such as things like dual stage authentication, how people look after their hardware, how you secure all of the different software, whether it be in the cloud or on different servers, right? And it also encourages continual improvement. Important one here is it enhances the customer confidence so that they know that any data that they share with you, any data that you have in place, right, it is handled and stored correctly, and it builds increased trust between you and your stakeholders. I'm going to hand back to Liam now for the next slides. Thanks, mate.
Thanks, Brad. So, in summary, to wrap up, so ISO is more than a badge. It improves efficiencies, reduce cost, ensures consistent quality, identifying risks, empowers employees, and opens a lot more doors to newer opportunities. It's probably one of the most effective ways to strengthen and grow your business. Next slide, Rob. So why Citation Group? So at Citation, so we take a very much of a collaborative and a supportive approach. We're committed to making the process a lot more clearer, simple, and also aligned with your business objectives. Last one, Rob. So, in terms of more than just an audit, so we're more than just auditors. We're your partners throughout the journey of ISO certification. So our focus is on providing clear guidance, practical insights, and a positive certification experience. So the industry-specific expertise from auditors, the seasoned professionals with deep experience within your sector. We can provide audit flexibility when we can. Sometimes, however, it is unavailable with certain scare and requirements when we need to do an on-site visit. But when we can provide a remote or even a hybrid option for the client. In addition, when it comes to citation certification, we can or we do provide complimentary training for all staffs, which does include a bit of a set of paced online training modules that any staff that that can tap into while they might be going through the ISO certification process as well. Next one, Rob. So just finally before that we finally just wrap up the webinar for this afternoon and get into our Q&A, just want to have a final reminder in terms of our promotion that we have on at the moment if you do sign up. So there is a QR code there as well. But we're also more than happy to have a chat if you all post at the webinar as well. All right, we might move on to the Q&A now. Thanks, Rob. Okay, we're just going through some of the questions at the moment. Okay. So I've got a question here. So how long does the process take? So it can be when it comes into the timeline with ISO certification, timelines can they can vary from quite a lot. The reason why this is because citation certification, because we're a certification body. The audit process does involve a stage one audit, which is a documentation review, and stage two, which is a bit more of an implementation review audit. But before even commencing stage one, it does mean that you will need to implement and develop that system. So because we can't be part of that process, we need to remain impartial. You can work with an ISO consultant, or you can build it internally. So that process can range from anywhere between 2 to 4 months. It just really depends. But when you go through stage one, stage two as well, that timeline can and vary because it depends on the audit findings that we discover from on stage one. So the process it's I suppose in the timeline it can vary. It dependent on the maturity of the system, how well it developed it is. Mhm.
Okay, so another question is how quickly do businesses usually start seeing improvements in efficiencies or cost savings after implementing an ISO system? So, very, very good question, and thanks for asking it. Um, Usually, businesses can actually see improvements in efficiency by actually implementing something because they're seeing things through a different lens. So that by implementing a management system, um, you can actually see improvement more or less straight away. But long term, and depending on who your customers are, what they want, and stuff like that, you'll certainly see a lot more opportunities open with a lot larger contracts, lot more important customers. And then by also implementing the management system, because you're continuing improving, your efficiencies are happening all the time. So cost savings and efficiency happen from the very, very get-go and in the implementation stage.
Thanks, Brad. I'm just getting to the next ones here. Okay. Can the offer be used across multiple certifications if we want to work towards more than one ISO standard? Another very good question. So a lot of our existing clients, they tend to go to the path of having a integrated management system, and it's most commonly adopted in towards ISO 9001 for quality, ISO 45001 OH&S, and then also ISO 14001. So yes, they can benefit across all three ISO standards at once because there's a lot of common efficiencies between the ISOs. We'll treat it as integrated management system audit, and so there's a couple of cost benefits when you go down the path of all three ISOs as opposed to one.
Thanks, Liam. So another question is, we already have strong internal processes. So how do we actually know we need ISO certification, or how do we know if we actually need ISO certification, or what if what we're doing is enough? So in answer to that question, and you want to go down the ISO certification pathway, we can actually, by going to our website, you can actually download what we call a sort of self-evaluation checklists, which is effectively the ISO standard written in a checklist format, which you can use to cross-reference what you have in place to what you think you may need in place. One thing I will say in that is that, as you can appreciate, all ISO standards are written to be introduced across all organizations, across all industries. So you effectively, the client, well, you, the client, need to take out of the ISO standard what actually you need for your company or your organization. So if, for example, right, you're a maintenance company, right? The questions about manufacturing you don't need to worry about. So effectively, you're building a bespoke manual for your organization. Don't go down any rabbit holes. Don't go down to try and answer any questions. Try to keep it as simple as possible, because whatever you write down in your management system as part of your documentation, we will have to audit, and that's where people can get caught out. But quickly is, as I say, if you want to explore it more, you can go to our Citation website and you can download um, the um, the self-evaluation checklist, which is a very, very good starting point.
Thanks, Brad. How quickly do businesses usually start seeing improvements?
We've done that one, Liam.
Oh, sorry.
So the audit, maybe the audit process actually look like day to day.
Yeah, here we go, another one here. What does the audit process actually look like day to day? Is it disruptive for smaller teams? No, not necessarily. No, because in stage one, it's very much a documentation review where we essentially go through your policies and your procedures. So it's very much focused on your the system documentation. So there isn't too much involvement throughout the day. But when it comes into stage two, however, yes, we do understand that you do need to run, or you are running an organization as well. So we do our very, very best to do the audit while or that you still need to to run your business as well.
So I think that's it for the questions, Liam.
I think so, yes.
So 26, next slide, please, Rob.
Alrighty. Well, thanks for attending today. Yeah, as the slides suggest, if you're interested in learning more, Brad and myself are more than happy to have a conversation with yourselves.
So, everyone, thank you for joining us today. I'd like to take this opportunity to say, hope you all have had a great 2025 and have a great Christmas to you and your families. Making sure it's safe and hope you all have a safe 2026. Thanks for coming and yeah, we'll hopefully hear from you.